Hello, my name is Philip Bloom and today I'm going to talk about Sony's Z7 HDV camera. This camera is not a replacement for the Z1, it's an additional one in the lineup. I myself own a Z1 and think it's a very good camera, but this improves it in many ways and I'm going to show you what they are. The biggest difference with this camera over the Z1 is the fact you can actually take off the glass at the front. The lens is removable, so you can put on special 1/3 inch lenses, or if you want to with different adapters you can put on anything from 2/3 inch lenses to digiprimes. Of course, when you use glass it's designed for larger censored cameras. This camera only has a 1/3 inch chip. You will get a multiplication factor when you put it onto this camera, so that's something you really need to remember. For example, if you have say a 2 times multiplication factor, your 5mm lens on your 2/3 inch camera will be 10mm on this, so you've got to remember that, so you're not going to get your wide angles with it. Okay, so you've got the options of other lenses, but let's not forget, this is actually quite a good lens for a number of reasons. We finally no longer have that horrible infinity focus ring. We have a proper iris wheel on the lens itself and a nice manual zoom. The other really cool new feature on this camera is the fact that it's now dual media. It's still predominantly a tape-based camera recording HDV or DV cam if you want to record in standard definition, but it now has a compact flash recorder on the back. Let me show you. You need to make sure you have a compact flash card which records at least 133 times speed. This one's got 306, so more than enough. So the great thing about it is you can record standard definition on this whilst recording HDV on that. So for example, you have a project that has a really quick turnaround, you need to get the pictures out really fast, but you want to keep HDV pictures. You can record HDV on here, SD on here, whip out the card, put it into your laptop, and away you go. If you take off this neat little addition, you get the hidden battery, and for the first time on a small Sony camera, you have a 6-pin firewire, which is a really nice little feature to have, much better than the horrible 4 pins. If you're used to a Z1, you'll be at home with this camera as well. You've got the LCD screen in the same place, hiding the controls up here. As well as the usual assignable buttons, you have, for the first time on a small camera, is a 4-stage filter wheel here. We go all the way from clear through to 1/64th. A really nice little feature. When I first heard about this camera, I found out that it shoots progressive, no longer the cine frame, which is a mock film look that you got with the Z1. This is a proper progressive film look out of the camera, a really nice feature. In addition to that, we also have new Cmos sensors, which means it's much better in low light, something the Z1's not that great at. Handheld, it feels very much like a Z1, slightly easier than say an EX1 to hold, but there are some really good shoulder mounts out there which make it an absolute doddle to shoot handheld. I wanted to point out this interesting little design quirk here. The hot shoe mount is actually removable, and that's done for a reason, is because you put the matte box on the front here. It makes it very difficult to take the filters in and out of the matte box, but the problem is you then lose your hot shoe mount, which means you want to put a top light on there or mount a radio mic on the front. It's very difficult. There is a screw at the back here, so you can put it on the back if you want to, but you really want to have it at the front, so it seems like a really strange thing to have done in my opinion. The pitch quality out of this camera is certainly better than the Z1, and that's down to the Cmos sensor inside. Now Cmos technology uses something called a rolling shutter to capture images. If you're in situations where there's flash photography, you'll get the occasional half frame. That can be quite distracting, and that's down to the Cmos technology, not the camera itself. That's just something to bear in mind when choosing this camera. If you're going to do a lot of paparazzi type stuff, I certainly would go with something with a CCD block. So why upgrade to this camera rather than just buy a Z1? Well, for me there's 4 key things. First of all, it's way better in low light. You have a lens which comes off, you have dual media recording, and of course it shoots progressive. And for me, that makes it a true winner.